Coming up on Seminole Sports Magazine, we'll draw back the curtain and see what it takes to create a unique and exciting fan experience at FSU basketball games. Then meet former arch rivals turned Tallahassee teammates. We'll profile two athletes that traveled across the globe to join forces at Florida State. And heartbreak at Omaha.
I blame myself for that, that night. I blame myself for that loss.
We'll profile Justin Gonzalez and his road to redemption. These stories and more on Seminole Sports Magazine, presented by AT&T. Hello everyone, I'm Whitney Ray. Our first story takes us straight to the hardwood during halftime at the Donald L. Tucker Center. The entertainment provided at every FSU basketball game is unique and keeps the fans on their feet the entire game. Chelsea Rife was there to watch fans pack the tuck and go wild.
When the buzzer sounds and the half ends, the fun begins at the Donald Tucker Center. The marketing directors at FSU provide some of the craziest, funniest, and outrageous forms of entertainment to keep fans coming back for each and every basketball game.
It's all entertainment, so our job is to put on, a great show, have a great experience for the fans.
The steadfast supporters of FSU basketball have seen it all. Dancing, singing, burritos shooting baskets, and eating? One of the most entertaining acts to set foot in the Tucker Center this season was the Superstars.
The Superstars came in here this year. They're one of the most popular acts in the entire country. And it's 7 minutes of just pure chaos, really. We met with them about an hour before the game and learned their skit. And they shoot silly string at you, they'll dance with you, that guy actually ate somebody. So just pure entertainment is ideally what I look for.
While the Superstars made a special one-time appearance, fan favorites like the FSU Golden Girls keep the crowd on its feet.
It's so fun. We're so spirited. Yeah, we love the Golden Girls and the cheerleaders, so pretty much awesome.
They're your favorites? Which one's your favorite?
Golden Girls. They're so good. Golden Girls, they're awesome. We wish we could dance like that. We just like to pretend.
The Golden Girls blow away the audience with skilled turns and synchronized rhythm, but they aren't the only group making sure the energy level is sky high. The FSU cheerleaders literally soar to elevated heights for all to see. It's hard to look away as their pom-poms reflect off the light in the Tucker Center, catching the eye of the crowd. The leaps and flips are seen down on the court, but sometimes fans must look at all directions in the arena. A t-shirt could be flying their way from the CO2 gun down on the sideline that hurls shirts to fans who are the rowdiest. Or they could catch prizes descending from the ceiling during timeouts. The possibilities are endless at FSU, and while halftime is a time for players to rest, it's also a time when fans do the exact opposite. After the Superstars came to Tallahassee, fans thought they had seen it all during halftime. But that wasn't the case. When Red Panda, an acrobat known for her mind-blowing tricks, rolled into town, everyone was expecting her typical circus act. But as she sat atop a net-high unicycle, catching bowls that Cimarron chucked at her, fans quickly realized they were in for something mesmerizing. It's safe to say boring is not a word used to describe FSU basketball games. We're here at the Tucker Center cheering on the Noles, and I have two loyal fans with me that make it to every game. What's your favorite part about Florida State basketball?
I really love the entertainment and all the energy it brings.
And what's your favorite act?
My favorite act would probably have to be either the Moe's Burrito event or one of those sumo events that they have.
That's awesome. And is there anything else you guys like to add?
Go Noles!
The entertainment is one part of the equation that builds a strong fan base here at FSU. The main part is the players, who fans really come to see. The phrase "pack the tuck" has emerged to describe the Tucker Center at its best.
It's like the court starts shaking sometimes when it's really packed in Tucker. It's like the court is taking, you vibrating, and you just get hyped and you just want to win. It just it gives you that extra boost at the end of the game that you need. But it gets pretty crazy, and I love it when it's like that. Who doesn't like to play in games like that?
With over 12,000 fans screaming, jumping, and shaking the court, players say their game reaches a whole new level. Like when the Noles played Duke at home last season. The hardwood shook in the final minutes of the game and continued after the buzzer sounded.
it's no better feeling, just adrenaline on a high. It's just the momentum is just pumping into you because of your crowd just pushing that energy into you. You know, everybody's standing up. It's a packed house. People are just, the crowd is roaring. It feels like the building is shaking.
To keep fans on the edge of their seats, different phrases have been popping up, including going ham and you've been snared. Snare loves that he's now a verb, but just recently learned about the nickname for the Tucker Center.
Oh, that's tight. No, I never heard that. I mean, you bringing new stuff. I ain't never heard that. That's pretty cool. I never heard about that.
Yeah, I started it. It was a hashtag on social media. It's kind of going along with going ham.
The Tucker Center and Snare aren't the only ones with a nickname.
Miller puts up the triple. It's good. He gets another triple. He created his own shot.
Miller time. Like everybody likes when I I score in like burst spurts, have my own little runs and everything like that. So, when that happens, everybody just like, it's Miller time.
The fans bring their own flair to the game with signs and posters, encouraging players to give it their all. And they do. They pour their hearts onto the hardwood, and win or lose, FSU fans always go home entertained. I'm Chelsea Wright for Seminole Sports Magazine.
If you want to see the halftime action, you'll have to wait till next season. The Seminoles are wrapping up their home schedule and preparing for the ACC tournament March 14th to defend their title. When we come back, we'll profile two European rivals that traveled all the way to Tallahassee to join forces and create a dynamic duo.
Seminole Sports Magazine is presented by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By Coke Zero, football-related chest bumps, high fives, and trash talk brought to you by Coke Zero. Enjoy everything.
Our next story profiles two rivals, women who grew up playing volleyball and battling each other in tournaments all over Europe. They never dreamed they'd end up on the same team or that their skills would take them out of the arena and onto the sand volleyball court. Taylor Tenenbaum shows us how FSU turned these bitter rivals into sand volleyball stars and friends.
This time last year at Florida State, sand was spread for the first time. Fresh nets were hung, new balls unwrapped. But these weren't the only new additions to the first-year sand volleyball program. Indoor volleyball standouts Maria Milosavljevic and Fatma Yildirim made the transition from the hardwood to the sand. The best friends do everything together, and this was no exception. Side by side, they conquered the sandy struggle and helped push the program to a third-place national title. But the two Seminoles weren't always playing for the same team. Their relationship dates much further back and stretches much farther away than Tallahassee, Florida.
I played for national team of Serbia and she played for national team of Turkey. I remember every single tournament we played against them. I remember at one European championship we played for the third place. They won. Yeah. I remember my coach was yelling at, she was good at that time too, yeah. And my coach was yelling, "Watch Fatma, 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 Fatma." Like, who is Fatma?
Sophomore year, Maria transferred from Tulane University. Her sharp skills and intensity caught the attention of the Florida State coaching staff. The volleyball warrior from Serbia would join her Turkish rival as teammates on the same side of the net.
At first I didn't know that she was here. I knew she was somewhere in the US, but then I figured out, oh, she's here. I guess like they might be good because she was good in national team. So I think it was easier for me like to communicate with her than other players because I already kind of knew her. But we actually didn't get close till my junior year, right? Yeah. We would kind of like hang out, but not that much.
Whenever I first saw her, after a couple months, I was like, why is he always so serious?
We went to Starbucks, we started talking about like some life. Yeah, about life, and they were like, oh, she's such a European.
That cup of coffee sparked what is now a tight alliance. But that alliance extends much deeper than just teammates and best friends. When their uniforms are hung up, the duo slips into a different type of battle gear, taking on a role involving less spikes and digs and more chops and kicks.
I like ninjas in high school because it's like, for me, just like something that has like complete like strength with mind and body. So I liked it, like I like the concept of ninja.
Maria has always been a self-proclaimed ninja. She recruited Fatma, and together they are the team's ninja warriors.
you were just born with it, and I'm a master ninja, so I saw the talent, I recruited her, I trained her for a couple of weeks. Yeah, it didn't take long, so she became ninja too.
You know, Maria will be like, go ninja! Like, they just have, like, owned this whole, like, warrior thing, and I love it. I think it's so appropriate for our sport.
Whether dressed in garnet and gold or in their ninja gear, they are always ready for battle. So it's no surprise that when sand volleyball began last year, the Warriors embarked on the foreign mission together. They were raised as strictly indoor players, so playing on the sandy terrain was a first for both of them.
It was quite a tough transition at first because you need like at least 4 weeks for your legs to get used to sand so you can actually jump.
Well, it was quite a challenge. I remember like somebody would set me the ball, I was like, okay, I'm gonna nail it down, then I jumped this high, I'm like, what is this?
They fell so hard for sand volleyball, literally and figuratively, that they're back for round 2 this season. The distance from home has brought them closer together. Their cultural similarities are what make the two especially compatible.
You know, like that one person you can always count on, and like whenever you're down, like she'll bring you up, like she will make you feel better. And like, I don't really have to say anything, like I would look at her and be like, I know what you're thinking and thank you.
Before these Warriors part way with Florida State, they have a sand volleyball national title to capture. You can be sure Fatma and Maria won't go down without putting up a good fight. For Seminole Sports Magazine, I'm Taylor Tannenbaum.
With their volleyball skills and warrior personas combined, the women are ready to crush the competition for their second and final season in the sand. They're currently in Los Angeles to kick off play against the University of Southern California and La Jolla Marymount University. When we return to Seminole Sports Magazine presented by AT&T, heartbreak at Omaha.
That first game in Omaha, that was, you know, I felt like I let my team down. You know, something that we worked so hard to do, and I blame myself for that. You know, that night, I blame myself for that loss.
We'll profile Justin Gonzalez and his road to redemption.
Seminole Highlights is presented by AT&T. Rethink Possible.
It's time to review scores and highlights from recent FSU athletic events. Here's Kristen Kemp to catch you up with all the latest in Seminole athletics.
Hey there, Seminole fans. I'm Kristen Kemp with your Seminole Update. Tipping off the week with a big win against the Demon Deacons, the Florida State's men's basketball team defeated Wake Forest 76-62. Senior Michael Snare led the Noles with 24 points on the scoreboard. With only 3 games left in the regular season, the team is preparing to make the transition from season play to ACC tournament play.
Catch-and-shoot triple by Snare on the opening shot of the game.
From the hardwood to the swimming pool, the men's swimming ACC championships took place this week in Greensboro, North Carolina, where the FSU men's team got off to a great start with a first-place finish on day 1. Mark Weber and Paul Murray both set personal records. FSU standout swimmers Pavel Sankovic, Jared Pike, Mark Weber, and Paul Murray finished first in their event and will go down in ACC history for breaking the conference record, replacing the record time set by Duke last year. Out of the water and into the dugout, both the men's baseball team and the women's softball team took home W's. Coming out of a victory against the USF Bulls, the Seminoles baseball team continued their streak of perfect pitches against Villanova.
Strike 3 called.
The team won all 3 games against the Wildcats, with senior Scott Seitz finishing the game with 6 shutout innings. The team takes on Boston College next week. Another victory-filled week here at Florida State University. I'm Kristen Kemp, and that was your Seminole Update.
When we return to Seminole Sports Magazine, presented by AT&T.
I blame myself for that, that night. I blame myself for that loss.
A special story of redemption with Justin Gonzalez.
Seminole Sports Magazine is presented by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By Coke Zero, football-related chest bumps, high fives, and trash talk brought to you by Coke Zero. Enjoy everything.
Our final story takes us back to Omaha and the 2012 College World Series. The Seminoles faced Arizona in the pivotal first game. 28 of the past 31 champs have won their opening game, proving getting off to a strong start in Omaha is vital. Every play is important, and Justin Gonzalez fell victim to that reality. Scott Kodak takes us on a journey of failure and redemption.
Jammed him and bobbled it short. Gonzalez charging it, couldn't come up with it. Check swing down to first, off the first baseman's glove, stabbed at second. Now they got a shot at him at third. With a terrific play by Travis, and they throw it away. That should never happen.
Gonzalez taking his eye off the ball, trying to tag him before he has the ball in his glove. We've seen Gonzalez already with 2 errors in this game, having a couple of missed plays.
Sometimes baseball can be cruel and rip a player's heart out at the worst possible moment. For Justin Gonzalez, Game 1 against Arizona in the 2012 College World Series provided the backdrop for the greatest test he could ever imagine.
That first game in Omaha, that was, I felt like I let my team down, something that we worked so hard to do. And I blame myself for that, that night. I blame myself for that loss.
They took it pretty hard. A lot of those things, we kind of get over it with baseball. You deal with so much failure that you learn to get over it, but you can only take so much. It was difficult seeing them go through it, tearing up, it really hit them, It really hit them hard, and you could tell.
It's just one of those things where, man, it's tough to talk about, but going back and looking at that night and looking at after the game, and just looking at back what happened, and just knowing that, like all the thoughts that were going through my head about, maybe like what have I done that I just cost this, this team the right to win a national championship, that I just do that. Talk about being down, man. That was probably the down I've ever been, most I've been since I've been here.
Error after error. It seemed that nothing would go his way. The Seminoles ended up falling to Arizona in extra innings that night in Omaha, likely ending their dream at winning the first national title in school history. But while failure may sting, it is a fleeting moment, and baseball always provides a new shot at glory.
This one driven deep to left field off the bat of Justin Gonzalez. Back goes Intagliata, gone! A 3-run home run, and it is blown wide open. 7-0 Florida State.
I got to be honest, when that swing came and that ball went, it definitely almost sparked like a new energy inside me, and it sparked like, a new mentality and a way to think, you know what, man, yesterday was yesterday and today's today, and that's all I have to live for is for today. So
he came back the next day and determined. He didn't come back afraid. He didn't come back not wanting the ball hit to him. He came back the next day and said, that wasn't Justin Gonzalez. I'll show you Justin Gonzalez today.
You always want to see everybody succeed, especially to see him come through like that. It was very uplifting, you know, having him get put down, probably the worst he's ever been put down, and then all of a sudden come back to it, you know, the next 3 games and play how he did and up to his standard, you know. It's great to see, and I'm glad he did.
It was a complete turnaround. Gonzalez finished with the most RBI in the College World Series among all 8 teams. He helped lead the Seminoles to their best finish since the year 2000. And that Friday nightmare was a distant memory as he looked forward. There was more to do in a Seminole uniform, symbolized with 1 letter on his jersey.
It's amazing how when you wear that C, you do feel that responsibility. He accepts that responsibility. He relishes that. That's what he's about.
You know, I felt like I was leaving something behind that I wasn't finished. I felt like I was being called back to do something more.
And that's where Gonzalez's journey continues this season as the team's captain, leading by example and putting others before himself.
Guys started to buy into the aspect that this is a team, that this is not about a bunch of individuals, you know, trying to, you know, be a first rounder, trying to be an All-American or try, you know, for the individual statistics. They've bought into the fact that, you know, when we win together, like, it means so much more.
I mean, I think we have something really special. I can't wait to see what happens because, I mean, we're a good team now, and once, you know, keep learning and learning and learning, we're going to be very, very dangerous come June.
The goal to get back to Omaha is stronger than ever. The off-season work, the early season games, everything leads up to June at the College World Series.
Being so close in Omaha, you know, getting that taste, you know, kind of leaves you itching, man. And the work that we put in the fall, being with these guys and the team, the way that gelled together this year, I know it's young in the season, but, you know, I believe that we will be back, and I believe that we have a great opportunity to win this, you know, win it all this year. And those guys in the locker room do too.
And Florida State will have their captain leading them every step of the way, not as an individual, but as part of something greater, to visualize the ultimate goal and to see it become reality.
I will never quit. I will never stop. We will make it.
Justin Gonzalez and the Seminoles are ranked 5th in the country and are ready to make another run at Omaha and finally capture that elusive national championship. I'm Whitney Ray, and we'll see you next week on Seminole Sports Magazine, presented by AT&T.